What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones, a card game, 2nd edition video for you. This time we're in Michigan, Holt, Michigan to be exact, at AFK Games. This video is brought to you by these awesome people who support the channel at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. In this match we have Alex T playing Tyrell Wars to Come against Ben W playing Greyjoy Wars to Come. Quite a popular agenda. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see lots of it in this video series. We got lots of matches coming up. Recorded a couple games each round, did 5 rounds of Swiss. We had 30 players. And then we did a cut to the top 8, where I got a couple matches from the top 8, both top 4s in the finals. Assuming all those video files are not corrupt. But we're back with some Thrones on the channel. Finally got to go to a regional in my area, sort of, 4 hours away. I'll be heading about 6 hours away in a couple weeks to go to the Montreal, Quebec regional at BD Cosmos. And then hopefully Rochester, New York after that, August 25th. So we should have quite the summer full of Game of Thrones videos coming up on the channel. So stick around, make sure you subscribe for that, and hit that little alarm bell button to be notified when the videos go up so that you don't miss them. On the left we have a Garden Caretaker, and it looks like we have, who is that? That is Sir Garland Tyrell, I believe. Not to be confused with Sir Colin of Greenpools, which I mess up quite often, I'm sure you guys know. And it looks like he has the Redwind Straits on the bottom there for economy on the Tyrell side. And on the right we have Theon the Reader and a Sea Tower economy location. And for plots we have a Time of Plenty on the left. And on the right we got Trading with the Batoshi. So you see the 3 gold there from trading given to the Tyrell player. And then they both drew 3 cards off the Time of Plenty plot that was played by the Tyrell player. It looks like they're both collecting economy here. We'll find out shortly who is actually going first. It was the choice of the Greyjoy player, Ben, there, who did have higher initiative. And it looks like the Tyrell player, Alex, is going first. He's put down an Old Town, I believe that is. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance. I mean, it looks like it's 2 costs to me here, but that tower art, very similar to a high tower, but I'm pretty sure it's Old Town. And there's the other guy that I confused. There's Sir Colin of Greenpools. Yes, Sir Colin of Greenpools is now in play, along with Sir Garland Tyrell. It's going to confuse the heck out of me. Should be fun times. Garland's 4 cost. The guy on the top, he's got that bestow, 3, and Renown. He gets +1 strength for each gold he has, and then you discard a gold from him to choose a Tyrell character until the end of the phase. He gets +2. Not to be confused with Sir Colin, who's more simple. He's 2 cost, and he's just the guy with 1 strength, but gets +3 during power challenges. And we have that new Shadows card thrown out there, the Scheming Septon. That nobody who seems to really put into Shadows because he doesn't have a Shadows ability. But his ability is amazing, is how I want to state it, at least with these Tyrell decks. They're looking to get extra money for ambush and mace triggers. Just makes sense. And card draw is always good. Looks like we got Knight of Flowers out there now and 3 gold saved on the Tyrell side. We're over to the Greyjoy player who's marshaled in a Great Hall and quickly kneeled it. Looks like we have a bomb coming here. And it's Euron. First turn, here we go. Gonna try to pillage and steal some locations. And at least just get some renown and win the game would be okay, but icing on the cake if you can jack some of those juicy locations that are in play already, or some off the top of the deck or out of the hand. And we have a Begging Brother, no bestow though, and we have an Iron Mines put into play and 1 gold saved on the Greyjoy side. I think I know what that 1 gold to be for. Most likely a We Do Not Sow. Maybe a Nightmares. Maybe a Nightmares. Got an entry challenge for 2, coming from the Scheming Septon, blocked by the Begging Brother for 3. Is Alex debating playing a Growing Strong here and buffing up his strength to try to get in the hand of the Greyjoy player and steal a card? And he's going to just leave it there and let the Greyjoy player win the challenge on defense. And we have a military challenge for 3. And no defenders, so we got an unopposed bonus there. That Begging Brother dies for claim. And sounds like the Tyrell players pass his challenges over to Ben, the Greyjoy player, for his challenges now. And it sounds like an intrigue with Euron, 6 strength.
Take the action.
And we got Scheming Septon's action being triggered here, so he's going to draw a card, get 2 gold, and throw that Septon back on the top of the deck. Maybe has somebody in ambush in, but to block the unopposed, maybe? But I doubt he'll have a way to completely block it here. But, I mean, at a Tyrell, they got the events to buff the strength, so... But we got no one in the dead pile, so no Lord Renly's Ride, I don't think, yet. And there's an Old Town Informer jumping in. Ambush 2. Is he going to bestow to try to cycle some cards here and dig for what he needs?
The bestow happens in the reaction. Right. Yeah, so I'll bestow. 2.
Yeah, he's going to bestow 2 here and then react off that. Draw 2 cards, then he'll be forced to discard 2 cards. A little bit of card cycling here to get some better quality cards. Try to get the pieces you need. Try to filter through your deck. And also set up some flea bottom food there in your discard pile. Gotta watch out he doesn't throw any locations in there with Euron about to win a challenge. And he did, but I think it's Old Town, which he already has in play, so it's unique and can't steal a copy of it. Well, Alex, the Tyrell player, has a copy in play.
Okay, go to claim.
So it sounds like no reactions here. Blocks the unopposed. We have claim. And it's a Scheming Septon.
Renown, pillage.
And Renown on Euron, of course. And pillage is a Gates of the Moon. That's a juicy hit. And of course that's going to be the copy because we said he couldn't steal the other copy of Old Town. So now he's going to get +2 gold next round and increase the value of his opponent's gold on his plot by 1. Not sure what he's doing here with Little Theon, if it's military or power. I missed that. But if it's power and he blocks with Sir Colin, he's going to go up to 4, and then it won't count his strength. And it is going to be unopposed, so top 3 are going to be discarded using the Reader's ability here. And it looks like a copy of Mace. I think a Great Hall was in there, and a Redwind Straits. Then he blows up the other Redwind Straits with a Weeder Not So to cut off some of the economy of the Tyrell player. And he seeded that discard pile very nicely. So Euron's gonna be shopping quite often here, unless Euron leaves play somehow. But that Iron Mines is gonna make that hard to do, I'm sure. So we got some Old Town triggerage here. He's gonna name a card type. He's gonna look at the top of his deck. He said location, and it was the High Tower, and he got it. Wow. And that Old Town card works well with the Scheming Acceptance. Since he goes to the top of the deck, you can then trigger it after you know he's on the top of the deck, say character, and then draw him. Get him off the top of your deck so you draw 2 fresh new cards next turn, and you always kind of have a character ready to play, just in case.
Stay in your face. Stay in there.
Yep.
Okay.
And on to round 2, we got Late Summer Feast into First Snow of Winter.
You choose to go first?
So the Greyjoy player wins initiative again. He's going to choose himself to go first here. And we'll see if they remember to trigger the forced reaction off the Late Summer Feast plot by the Tyrell player there to draw an extra card every time the Tyrell player wins a challenge. And at the start of the challenges, First Snow is going to make all 3 costs or higher, or 3 costs or lower, cards go back to each of their hands. You can save that with duplicates on uniques like Little Theon if you can get a duplicate on him. Which he probably has in hand since he played that, but maybe he's just trying to clean the board up on the other side. But the Knight of Flowers and Sir Garland are both 4 costs, so they'll stick around. This Greyjoy player here just trying to put some pressure on, go first. Maybe kill someone of value. Thin the board out a little bit. So he plays a Great Hall. Or no, he didn't play a Great Hall. Sorry, that was already there. Just going to reduce for 1, play a Newly Made Lord, and blow up the Old Town. So 2 copies of the Old Town now in the discard pile for the Tyrell player. So he's cut off partially part of his draw and some of his economy now. And that's going to be it. He's going to sit on 3 gold. Over to the Tyrell player. He's going to collect a bucket load of gold here. 9 gold to work with. 10, actually, from the Gates of the Moon. And he's got that little Garden Caretaker to help him get another character in play. Hopefully he's got some 4-cost or higher Tyrell characters. But I think he definitely should put the High Tower in play as long as he can protect it. That'll help him get some economy here and some draw going to help him get to the cards he's looking for. He's got a lot of cards in hand. I don't know what he's missing still. But also what he puts in play here. May die to military claim if he doesn't have an ambush character in hand. But he will, actually. He will have the Informer back in hand from First Snow. So he might just want to save money to play ambush characters. That might be another strategy. As long as he can weather the storm from the Greyjoy player and then ambush some guys in and come back. He's got to be able to block the unopposed from Little Theon there to protect the location. So maybe putting the High Tower is not smart, but he's going to do it now anyway. Maybe he has a Hand's Judgment in hand. That would be good.
6. There's 2 copies of Old Town in your discard pile.
2. Neil. 6.
Yep.
And we got Renly coming in, triggering the High Tower, drawing a card, getting a gold. And a limited Rose Garden there, put into play. Now the problem is, after I started playing with that, what's it called? That plot that hits non-unique locations and attachments. I can't remember the name right now, but the Tyrell player is susceptible to right now having the High Tower out there, and a limited. If that is played, he will have to discard that High Tower. And I know the Greyjoy Wars deck I was messing around with before this tournament had that in there. Just some extra location hate, and sometimes get rid of that nasty attachment when you need to. Nothing burns like the cold is the plot I was thinking about there. Each player chooses an attachment and an unlimited location he or she controls. If able, then discards each of those cards from play. Cannot be saved. Plot deck limit 1. A lot of people putting those answers in there for the HRD decks. Well, I guess not the HRD decks, but just these decks playing like 4-cost locations and setting them up like Dorne or Hightower. Good way to snag a flea bottom too, I find. So power challenge with Enemy Lord being blocked by Sir Garland. Greyjoy player taking some power claim there. Tyrell player back down to 1 power. Greyjoy player sitting at 4. So I just want to say thanks to all the players for playing on camera. Much appreciated. And you guys be nice to them in the comments. Feel free to give some constructive criticism, both to my commentary, the channel, the quality in general, but also the play. You know, if you see something interesting or some tips, lots of new players coming to the game right now from Netrunner and other games, maybe even L5R, while they're awaiting some cards, hopefully this year. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, new players coming into the game, as always. We'll have them showing up shortly, I assume. I've already seen quite a few popping up on the Facebook and shooting me some messages in the area. So feel free to leave constructive criticism below or anything you catch, you know, some rules mistakes or anything. Helps other people watching the videos in the future if they check the comments. Can, you know, get some tips or understand what's going on or that kind of thing. So we got Greyjoy shopping for some locations here. Grabs a copy of Old Town.
Good. Challenges team.
Over to the Tyrell player for his challenges. He's got the Knight of Flowers standing.
Does he have? I was like, I gotta find. He's got my Halloween so and you've already used.
I use
Discard power.
just Hand's Judgment and we do that, so.
Yeah, the newly made Lord was the other one. Let's go. Power, yeah, 5.
He's under the phase, correct? And he's-
Yeah, I'm in the base. Yes. Let's go military.
So military challenge with the Knight of the Flowers.
Take an action, say event.
He's going to name event off Old Town, trigger it here. He sees a copy of Triss Botley on the top of his deck there.
And then they're going to host.
And he's going to go no defenders. And Knight of Flowers gains some renown. And that's going to be it. Looks like he claimed Theon, I believe, there.
Standing.
And dominance to the Greyjoy player.
Standing action and say character.
And now he's going to do Old Town. Name character, of course. Grab Triss Botley. And now the Old Town will stay knelt until the standing round next phase. But hey, sort of getting some use out of his opponent's location that he got for free, basically. So it's already paying for itself. It's already in the positive. Just going to get rid of a Silence His Crew for taxation there. Quite the discard pile on the other side for the Tyrell player, Alex.
I'm not playing out my hand.
And we're going to round 3. The Greyjoy player is sitting at 7. The Tyrell player is sitting at 3 power.
Neither, both of us forgot to trigger Knights and Refuse, so I lost that military challenge.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. They both lost it.
Yeah.
And they realize they missed the force reaction off Late Summer Feast. And Ben's going to say he's okay with they both missed it. It's their fault, no problem. He's not going to take it.
Nothing burns.
And there it is, nothing burns. I called it into political disaster. So they're both in the same mentality, trying to screw their opponent over with the amount of locations or the locations they have in play in general. So got a round of location hate here.
Well, who's going first?
Sounds like.
I'm first.
You're first. Okay.
So the Greyjoy player is 1 initiative, chosen himself to go first. He's now going to choose which plot goes off first.
So,
No, you're good, man.
figure out econs and stuffs.
He's trying to figure out how much economy he needs to save from the locations he's going to choose to save from political disaster.
Just trigger my plot first.
So he's going to go nothing burns, get rid of Old Town. On the other side, obviously, the High Tower is hit. And now that's in the discard pile where Euron Greyjoy can snag it. That'd be a pretty big blow to the Tyrell player.
That's gone.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, one's yours, one's mine.
Yeah, the moment you like, can I, how many triggers? Like,
Alright, draw.
So it looks like he sits with a Sea Tower and his Great Hall, the original 2 locations that Ben got in play. And on the other side, we now just have a Rose Garden.
the moment you want that, I went from,
That's Game 2.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's playing the fish markets there. That's interesting. So that explains why he's doing the Reader discard. I was wondering that. Just to fuel that, get more than 8 cards in the opponent's discard pile so we can then collect 2 gold off of it. Played them for a while. They felt okay, but sometimes it just wouldn't get it going, and you'd feel a little depressed when you're a gold or 2 short in the earlier rounds of the game, and that's the only economy you see. But I mean, with enough pillage nowadays and hitting your opponent's hand and people discarding on purpose for flea bottom, putting stuff in the discard pile and taxation and cycling cards and all that kind of stuff, those discard piles can get full pretty quick.
And then I'll put a King of Salt and Rock on my Euron.
So Euron is now a king and also has pillage, and I believe if a location or attachment are discarded using pillage, Euron will get a power from that. Basically just put in Dex, Greyjoy's Dex there to prevent that King in the North plot from basically cock-blocking you for a round.
Do you have any 3-drop characters in your discard pile right now?
And we got Flea Bottom now out from the Tyrell player. He's got a few targets in there to hit with Flea Bottom, as he's showing his opponent there.
Crown.
And now King Renly is double kinged here with the Crown of Golden Roses. It's a great target for that since he has 3 icons. You can pitch a card and give him +3 strength. It makes sense for him to play these attachments after Nothing Burns like the Cold is played, so shouldn't see that again. At least not on the Greyjoy side. And we got Sir Colin making an appearance back after he left when it got cold from the first snow. So over to the Greyjoy player for his challenges here. He's got Triss Botley there in play. When will he trigger it? That is the question. He's going to try to jack something he doesn't want to come out from Flea Bottom. Is he waiting for a nice juicy event to be in that discard pile to steal that?
For 10.
So I think we have a 10 strength intrigue or power? Not sure which one he said there.
And with Renly. Trigger. Yep. Crown. Discard.
So he's going to discard a card for the crown.
Boost the strength up to 9.
Yep.
I was close at some time. If you were like,
Spend.
It's a High Tower Spy he throws in the discard pile there. And now he's going to Flea Bottom the High Tower Spy into play, triggering it, revealing the top card of his deck, using the cost to give +2 strength there. So Renly is now an 11.
So 11 straight. Yeah.
too much. Like, it was.
Because it's 10. Okay. I win? Yep. Alright. Keywords.
So
Renown.
Renly blocks, gets Renown, and we got an Insight draw. And surprise, it's Loyal. Who would have known?
It doesn't.
No, it's loyal.
Yeah,
It's loyal. I'm gonna keep drawing.
No, you don't keep drawing.
Yes,
You
I
don't.
do.
After you draw a look, using insight. So
This is insight. This
no, you're using his reaction. To
Oh, you
draw
only
the
get,
card.
only get one. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't keep chaining. I know that.
Insane.
Alright, so
But Alex is going to attempt it there. But the reaction is actually when you draw off of Insight, if it's Loyal, you get to draw another card. So obviously the second card is drawn off the reaction, so it wouldn't be off of Insight. So it breaks that little chain.
Pass
Just in case, don't let that have your front offers, in case you want to.
Intrigue.
And now we have an intrigue challenge coming in from the Tyrell player using the high tower spy. And no defenders on that, so we get an unopposed bonus. Going to hit the Greyjoy player's hand here. Gets a Stony Shore Raider, I believe they're called. See if the Tyrell player can make a comeback here. Before Valor's flipped. Not that a Greyjoy player with 10 plots in their deck would be playing Valor in there. Or Valor Margulis specifically is what I mean. So we got the military challenge one there. With the Knight of Flowers. And now a power challenge with Sir Garland for 3. And he's going to block for 3 with Triss. And lose. And just like that, looks like the Tyrell player is shot up to 9 power. And the Greyjoy player is now falling behind at 6.
Dominance.
Now let's see if the Tyrell player... Oh, and he won dominance too. Got another power there. He's up to 10. Let's see if he plays Compelled by the Faith. So he can swipe all that power onto his house cards safely away from the Valar Morghulis that may be coming here.
Hold standing, sorry. Put them in.
Yeah.
So the Greyjoy player has 1 save in play, does he there? Or no, that's a Sea Tower, isn't it? I think he got rid of an Iron Mines. I can't really tell with the glare there. Might be an Iron Mines, actually.
I got to discard 1 card here. Just thinking.
No. Hard to tell. You guys probably know. How many Arisen from the Seas does he have in hand? Just got them discarding for taxation here.
Oh, did you get to discard too?
No, I have 2 cards again. So,
Oh, I thought you were.
these are my plots.
Sorry about me. Yep. Alright, black.
It's like a copy of the High Tower discarded for taxation on the Tyrell player's side. He's sitting on a couple copies of that. We know one's already in the discard pile, and now the second one's in there. Maybe just feels it's too expensive to play, or at this point in the game he doesn't need it. I mean, he can totally keep going the Renown strategy. Doesn't even need to worry about Mace triggers.
It's weird, huh? It's like nights watching a lot of money.
So while we're waiting for Alex to figure out his plot here, guys, make sure you hit that like button down below to let other people help them find these videos on YouTube when they're searching for Game of Thrones or Game of Thrones a card game. The more likes the videos get, the more people will find them. And it looks like we got plot selection here, and Valar Morghulis on the Greyjoy player side into looks like a confiscation altar. So I saw that Valar Morghulis come in. Makes sense.
Trigger Valor first.
So Valar Morghulis is going to go across, kill everybody.
Save.
And it wasn't Iron Mines, used to save Euron. And the other 2 will die, so no Risen's in hand there. And I assume if Alex, the Tyrell player, knew Valor was coming, probably doesn't have March to the Wall in his deck. But then again, maybe he doesn't want to March. But I guess he has no one with dupes, so I guess you play March there and you make sure the board's pretty much wiped. Especially in this situation here, where only 1 save on the Greyjoy side.
Count 1, 2.
So Greyjoy player's going first. He's going to get 4 gold to work with and a Great Hall. He's going to play a Rose Road for a limited. And we have a Lordsport Shipwright. He's going to kneel Flea Bottom.
And then hold 2 up.
And he's going to save 2. So he's got that Shipwright out there to claim for military if needed to keep Euron around. Hopefully. And Flea Bottom gets a dupe. 4 gold to work with and a Rose Garden. Let's see what Alex can get on the board here. He's got a Garden Caretaker. That's going to help. Hopefully get another character on the board. I know he's got lots of cheap characters in that discard pile, but with Flea Bottom being knelt here, he's not going to be able to throw something in play. And we've got an Old Town Informer. No bestow on it. And Garth the Gross.
Power icon right now, right?
Alright, yep.
And yeah, they just clarified he's only a power icon, doesn't have any of the buffs since there's no other Tyrell lords or ladies in play to give him military or intrigue and renown or +2 strength.
How many cards in hand? 3. I want to pass the challenge as well.
Take down.
Yep. Can I see your plots?
Yeah.
So it looks like they passed challenges there, I think. It's quick. I kind of glanced away for a second, but yeah, they just went to Dom. Now they're already on the next plots. Looks like they didn't want to risk anything. And we got Barn the Gates played into King in the North. So neither player having a king right now is not going to be able to trigger anything. But I believe they both have their king attachments in hand. Assuming they went back to hand. Both of them were non-terminal, so they should have got them back after all the characters died. Oh, actually, Confiscation, sorry, hit the pillage attachment on Euron since he stayed in play. And we see it in the discard pile there. My bad. So Tyrell player may be looking to slow the Greyjoy player down here. Throw a king attachment out. So with Barn the Gates, card abilities aren't going to allow characters to enter play, so Flea Bottom is basically useless right now. Ambush and Shadows are also shut down. So looks like the Greyjoy player is going first.
Yes, I did get the
And he's going to play a Silence His Crew for 4. Put a card in Shadows for 2. And save no gold. Obviously investing that Shadows character in the future. Assuming it's a character. I think it can only really be a character out of Greyjoy right now. So, of course, the Crown of Golden Rose is played out there to get a king trait into play, so the Tyrell player can trigger his locations, attachments, and characters abilities, which he's going to do there with the Garden Caretaker, the Great Hall, and the Rose Garden, and spend 3 to get, there he is, the one, the only Mace Tyrell. The reason why everyone's playing green cards right now.
Yeah. I knew you had that freaking.
Well, that and the, endless card draw, economy, and renown. All things that help push you to victory with less effort.
Cards in hand.
2. You 2, 3.
So good. Especially if you
Let's do intrigue.
So we have an intrigue to start here with the Lordsport Shipwright from the Greyjoy player. Looks like the Old Town Informer is going to block for 2. Sorry, intrigue challenge of 1, I think, off the Shipwright. Can't see with the glare, but I'm pretty sure he's a 1 strength. I play him often, but not usually for challenges. Yeah, it's just 1 strength. So that was fully blocked there by the Old Town Informer. Tyrell player winning the challenge. Looks like Ben here is deciding if he wants to do a military or a power. He's counting his opponent's power, trying to figure out if he can rack up too much here. Tyrell player only sitting at 6. Greyjoy player at 7 power right now.
Military?
And a military challenge with Silence's crew for 4. And since the King of the North plot's out, we're not going to have the trigger off Silence's crew if he pillages the correct card type. He needs to get an extra gold token. And it looks like the Old Town Informer killed for claim there. And pillage is going to be a hands judgment.
That was a sigh right there, I believe. It sounded like
Man,
This has been a good game so far.
this has been a
It's
really
been
good
good.
game.
It's been good.
Yes, both players are correct. This has been a very good game so far. Very interesting. Very tight.
Challenges 2.
And that's going to be it for the Greyjoy players' challenges. He passes over to Alex, who's going to do his challenges here. Got Mace out there. Garth the Gross, who does have a Lord out there with him. I just forget what he gets from that, if it's the military or the intrigue ability. I'm going to say military. But we got a power challenge coming in here for 6. Unless he pitches a card here. So 6.
Close?
Close it, yeah.
And Euron's going to block for 6. So Ty goes to the attacker, of course. Claim. He's going to lose a power. And yeah, he does have Renown on Garth the Gross right now. So it must be a military icon Renown, I think is what he has right now. Actually, let me just check the card right here. Yeah, well, there's another Lord. He gains a military icon Renown. Well, it's a lady, a Tyrell lady. He gains an intrigue and +2. So Tyrell player sitting at 8. And Greyjoy player still at 7 power.
Here's your discard pile.
Yeah, sure. That's the discard. Ready when you are. He's like, I gotta get rid of that King of Salty Rock. At 1 turn. Beating.
So Velardo Harris on the Tyrell side into Calm over Westeros on the Greyjoy side. It's a plot you don't see much of. So Velardo Harris going to bring the Greyjoy player down to just Euron and the Lordsport Shipwright. And on the other side, it'll just leave Mace and Garth.
And I will choose power.
And power is what he's going to choose for the Calm of Westeros, which is signified by that power token there from Alex. Thank you. Greyjoy player going first. 6 gold counted here. He should be able to kneel his market there to get 2 more.
Two more. Cards in.
Now, who do we need to see here from the Greyjoy player to deal with this mace business, or to get him to the end quicker? Maybe King Balon, maybe Asha. Nope. We're gonna have a character come out of shadows first. That's why he's looking through the discard pile. We forgot about him. Got a Nighttime Marauders. It's gonna trigger, select a card in the discard pile, and then whatever cost that card is, he'll get to look at the opponent's hand and discard all cards of that cost. He pretty much has everything to choose. So he's going to choose 2 costs, which makes sense. And he's going to look at his opponent's hand, and there's nothing 2 costs in there. We saw Hand's Judgment, I believe. We saw Varys, I believe. Awkward. Are we going to see Varys make a play here? I mean, I don't think so. But nothing in there either way to discard. Usually 2 costs is a good selection with the Nighttime Marauders, I find, with Tyrell. Because you're going to take up most of their little ambush weenies out of hand, or that little Septon out of hand.
I'm going to kneel your Great Hall.
So first action, or I guess he's kneeling the Great Hall. Well, he did an action with the... I guess just Alex isn't taking his actions between. So the Greyjoy player kneels his Great Hall. And there's King Balon. That's going to help, especially going first with some renown. Over to the Tyrell player for his marshalling. Gets a second Rose Garden in play. So now kneeling that Great Hall, he's not able to get that Varys in play. But he can save gold for the Flea Bottom. Since that wasn't knelt, and it is dupe, so it shouldn't get blown up here from a We Do Not Sow Yet.
That kneel my Great Hall.
Yeah, you hear the pain from Alex with that Great Hall being knelt. That hurts. As after that Nighttime Marauders came out there in the marshalling phase, the Greyjoy player knows what's in hand.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, Alex admitting he didn't even think about taking any actions, but he should have taken it after kneeling that market, actually, if you wanted to use it, especially against a Greyjoy player with a Lordsport Shipwright on board. As soon as the Greyjoy player doesn't use the Shipwright as your first action, take advantage right away and kneel your most important economy location. That's a pro tip for you kids. Pro tip. I forget it all the time. So Alex is in a pickle here, sitting with 4 gold. Nothing really to play out of hand. I don't know what else he had in hand, but I think that's it. He's going to pass marshalling. And he's going to do a pre-challenge action here to kneel Flea Bottom. Spend a gold, I assume. Yep, there it is. And it's an... what is that? The Old Town Informer. Is he going to do any bestow on it to cycle for some cards? And it looks like he is. And he takes 2. And he's going to have to discard 2. So he has no military icon. Oh yeah, he does have a military icon actually. He does have on Garth the Gross. So he should be able to block everything at least from the Greyjoy player to stop unopposed. But with 2 renowned bodies on the board, and the Greyjoy player has no risk of losing power for power claim, he's not too worried, so he can go aggressive here playing that Calm over Westeros, which is a very interesting choice here to play mid-game.
Let's do
But that's the fun of Wars to Come. You can start putting in crazy plots that you might just need here and there. Kind of toolbox style, since the games aren't usually going to go to 10 plots. So yeah, I got to give Ben props for that choice. Oh, there is a king across the board, so actually Balon's going to have to kneel. So that's what's causing Ben a little frustration here and deciding what he wants to do first. But I think military is the right call. And he's going to defend. Is he going to try to win it here? I mean, he can throw away... I don't know how many times you can trigger that crown. Maybe twice? So he could pitch 2 cards and give him 4 strength, because he's got 2 icons right now. But that's still not enough to beat Balon. And there is no Greyjoy location, so Balon's ability is not going to come into play. He does have a gold, though, and I think he can play Growing Strong, but he's not. He doesn't have it, I guess, or doesn't want to do it. And claim's going to be the Old Town Informer. And we got Renown on Balon. So Greyjoy player now at 8 power.
Intrigue.
And now an Intrigue with Euron for 6. We just have Mace there by himself with 5 strength right now. Is he going to try to defend, or is he going to save him for a power challenge? You see the Nighttime Marauder sitting there. They're only 3 strength, so he could block the power challenge fully. And he's just going to oppose. And we got Intrigue Claim here. 1 of 3 cards, and it's a hand judgment. And we got the Renown and Pillage, of course. It's Renly. And what's he going to grab here? Got tons of locations to shop from. He's going to take the Redwind Straits. Get a +2 gold. And then the power challenge going unopposed. And we should have a Pillage off the Nighttime Marauders. But it's chosen. He chooses not to do it, or he forgets it. This is a newer card.
Cool question. I take him out. Does he lose the power if I take him out? Play?
Yes, the power is right.
Yeah. No channel.
So nothing else. No mace triggers. Alex was asking if the power would fall off if he left play, and of course it does. So does the attachment. And he was thinking of bringing him back in, I guess, to win Dom. But I think he already had Dom since he had a gold. But maybe he's just trying to get some power on Mace there, since he had that spare gold. But I guess he could have done it too when he brought in that Old Town Informer from Flea Bottom. That's when he probably should have done it. But maybe he had an event in hand he was debating on playing and using that gold for.
Close call.
So close call on the Tyrell side into Rise of the Kraken on the Greyjoy side. Greyjoy player going to try to close it here. Gets the initiative, most likely going first, trying to ram that 2 claim down his opponent's throat and maybe sneak through some unopposed and get some extra power. Well, it's in at 10 power. If you can get a couple claim off a power challenge and the Renowns, he pretty much can seal the deal here. And Alex is just going to shake. He knows it's over based on what he drew. And you hear him there say, the Great Hall, that was the rough spot. He couldn't play the Varys and reset the board. So yeah, kneel your locations, kids, when you're playing against Greyjoy if they don't use that Lord's Port ship right on the first action. That's your teaching moment from this game for sure. But anyway, thanks a lot for being here, guys. Like I said, we have lots more coverage coming up, so stay tuned for that, and make sure you subscribe. See ya!